Welcome to our podcast. Does love at first sight exist? Love at first sight? A concept so romanticized it feels almost mythical. You see someone across the room, your eyes meet, and suddenly, your heart decides, that's the one. No background check, no small talk, no deep conversations, just a single glance, and your entire being is convinced. Sounds magical, right? Or maybe a little suspicious, because let's be honest, if love were that easy, dating apps would be out of business, poets would be unemployed, and your grandma wouldn't keep asking when you're getting married. But let's not dismiss it just yet. The idea of love at first sight has been around for centuries. Literature, movies, music, they all paint this picture of instant, undeniable attraction. Romeo saw Juliet once and was ready to defy his entire family. Cinderella's prince danced with her for what? An hour. And he was out there searching the entire kingdom just to find her again. So what's really happening when we lock eyes with a stranger and feel something shift? Is it love? Or is it just our brains doing what they do best, making snap judgments? Based on thousands of years of evolutionary programming. Science has a little something to say about this. When you see someone you're attracted to, your brain goes into overdrive. Dopamine, oxytocin, adrenaline, it's like a chemical fireworks show. Your heart races, your palms get sweaty, and suddenly, everything about them seems fascinating. But that's not love. That's infatuation. That's attraction. That's your brain getting a little too excited, like a dog seeing a squirrel. Love, real love, the kind that lasts, takes time. It's built in the quiet moments, in the conversations, in the way someone makes you feel safe even when life gets messy. It's not just the way someone looks under dim lighting with the perfect background music. It's the way they show up when things aren't romantic at all. Now, does that mean love at first sight is a total myth? Not necessarily. Because sometimes, what people call love at first sight is actually recognition. Not recognition in the I've met you before sense, but in the something about you feels familiar. Something about you makes me want to know more. It's like meeting someone who fits a story you've already been writing in your head, and suddenly, you can't wait to turn the page. That's why people who believe in love at first sight often describe it as an unexplainable feeling. It's not logical, it's not planned, but it's powerful. And sometimes, that first spark does lead to something real. There are couples who swear they knew within moments of meeting that they had found the person they would spend the rest of their lives with. But here's the catch. Even if that initial connection is electric, the relationship still has to be built. The work still has to be done. Because no matter how strong the beginning is, love isn't measured in moments. It's measured in time, in effort, in choosing each other over and over again. And yet, possibility alone isn't enough to sustain love. That initial spark, that rush of excitement, it's fleeting. It can feel like the most intense thing in the world. But intensity doesn't always equal depth. Fireworks are breathtaking, but they burn out in seconds. Love, the kind that lasts, needs more than just a single spark. It needs fuel. It needs patience. It needs the kind of understanding that only time can provide. Because let's think about it. If love could truly happen at first sight, then what is it loving? A face, a posture, a moment frozen in time? Love is about seeing, truly seeing someone, not just their eyes or their smile, but the way their mind works, the way their voice changes when they talk about something they're passionate about, the way they react when they're tired, or frustrated, or when things don't go their way. And that kind of seeing doesn't happen in an instant. But still, there's something undeniable about those moments. When two people cross paths and feel something shift, some would call it fate, others would call it biology. But no matter what you name it, it's real. It's that feeling of stepping into a space and, without warning, realizing that someone in that room matters to you, before you even know their name. It's not logical, it's not rational, but it's undeniable. What's interesting is that this feeling doesn't just happen in romance. It happens in friendships, too. Have you ever met someone and felt, almost instantly, like you've known them forever? Like the conversation flows so easily it feels like you're picking up where you left off in some other lifetime. That same kind of instant connection exists outside of romantic love, which tells us something important. What we often call love at first sight might not be love, but recognition. It's a meeting of energies, a collision of stories that were already waiting for each other. And if that's the case, then maybe love at first sight isn't a myth. It's just a misnomer. Maybe the real phenomenon isn't love, but resonance. A signal, a beginning. Because here's the thing about love. Love isn't just something that happens to you. It's something you create. It's something you grow. And while that first moment of attraction might feel like destiny, what comes next is always a choice. So maybe the question isn't, does love at first sight exist? But rather, what do we do with that first spark when it arrives? Do we chase the high, mistaking intensity for substance? Or do we slow down, allow curiosity to take the lead, and let something real unfold? Because in the end, the greatest love stories aren't written in a single glance. They're written in the everyday moments, in the patience to learn someone fully, in the choice to stay when the rush fades, when the mystery is gone, when the real work of love begins. And if two people who lock eyes in a crowded room are willing to walk that journey together, willing to build something real out of something fleeting, then maybe, just maybe, love at first sight isn't just a fantasy. Maybe it's the start of something true. Why do some people believe in love at first sight while others don't? Why do we sometimes feel an instant connection with one person but not another? Could it be that what we call love at first sight is actually a reflection of our own state of mind, our own desires, our own readiness to love? Maybe in that moment, we aren't just seeing them. We're seeing the version of ourselves that is open, hopeful, willing to believe in something extraordinary. Maybe love at first sight is as much about timing as it is about the person standing in front of us. And what if, just for a second, we flip the perspective? Instead of asking whether we can fall in love with someone at first sight, what if we ask whether someone could truly see us in a single moment? Could someone know our fears, our dreams, our contradictions, the way we laugh when we're nervous, the way we hold on to memories even when we say we've moved on? Could someone truly love all that in an instant? So does love at first sight exist? The answer isn't simple, because love itself isn't simple. Some people experience an undeniable, life-changing connection in a single moment, a feeling so strong it shapes the rest of their story. Others find that love isn't about instant sparks, but about slow, steady growth, something built over time, through understanding, patience, and shared experiences. And maybe both are true. Maybe love can begin in an instant, with a single glance, a moment of recognition. But maybe, for it to last, for it to truly become love, it needs more than that first rush of emotion. It needs time, effort, and the willingness to see beyond the moment. In the end, whether love happens in an instant or unfolds gradually, what matters most isn't how it starts. It's how it's nurtured, how it's chosen, how it's kept alive. Because love, real love, isn't just about finding someone. It's about growing with them. So, what do you think? Does love at first sight truly exist? Or is it just a mix of chemistry and imagination? Have you ever experienced it yourself? Or do you believe that real love takes time to grow? Let's share your experiences or opinions in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this podcast, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to support the channel. Thanks for listening, and see you in the next video.